Okay, today we're going to be talking about the cardboard cutter or utility knife. Some people call it an X-Acto knife. First thing I do is I prepare myself to work. Obviously I've got my hair tied back. I don't really have long hair. Put jewelry away, make sure that I have glasses on, make sure I have closed-toe shoes. I have my sleeves rolled up, I'm ready to work, I'm prepared. Nothing's dangling. Then I get my tools. I get my tools ready always. So I always check the blade. I always look at the blade to make sure that the blade is not dull. If the blade is dull, then I have to snap the blade off. The way to snap the blade off, if you come on over here, you grab one of these tools from your toolkit. Linesman pliers works really well, or any type of pliers, and you take this and put it right at the edge. And when you're snapping this blade, you always snap it away from yourself and others, and then you dispose of this blade safely, okay? So now you have a very sharp edge. And when you're using this utility knife or X-Acto knife, you only need to bring it up about there. That's as far as you need to go. And all I'm doing is using this to right to tight, left to loosen, to slide it up and down. I never fully extend the blade. I only need it to go to about that much, okay? So that's setting up my tool. I'm setting up my utility knife ready to work. Then I get my line drawn on my cardboard, ready for my cardboard cutting. So I have a board that I'm gonna cut on top of. Okay, I'm okay to make little slice marks in this wood. It's protecting the tables below. I can also move this whole thing on the floor if I need to, if this is too tall for me. So I'm gonna make a little line on here, made the line, and then I'm gonna try to cut this. Well, that's really hard to reach over and cut that far. So I'm actually probably going to put this on the floor when I'm cutting, because I could probably only reach this far safely. But maybe I don't need to cut the full length. So watch. So I take this because it has a handle, and I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna cut this way, and then I'm gonna move it, and I'm gonna cut this way. So I need to wear gloves when I'm using a utility knife. I always have to wear gloves. So these are cut-proof gloves that you're gonna have access to, but you also have these ones. Whenever you're using a utility knife, you have to wear the gloves, okay? So these are size small. It should fit almost everyone in your group. I got my utility knife and I'm ready. So as you can tell, I put this ruler on this side so that I'm safely going to cut away from myself. And when I'm cutting, I'm applying a lot of pressure downwards so that I can cut through the cardboard, okay? And I want to make sure that this isn't moving on me. If you go too long on here at once, you won't be able to, you'll have a cut way over like that, which is not what we want. We want to make nice, long, straight cuts. And the blade is guided along this ruler. You'll be given some of this wood with a handle. Some of it will be long and some of it will be short. So the utility knife, whenever I'm not using it, then I need to put it away like that. So right to tight, left to loosen, and I always put my tools away safely. Some key points that I really want to stress, that you want to keep the blade retracted when non-use, okay? That's number one. I want to keep my body away from the cutting line. So my body was away from that cutting line. I want to make sure that I'm working on a stable surface. So if this is shaking at all, I'm not going to use this surface. I might actually slide this down on the floor. Slide this down on the floor and then cut down on my knees stably like that. That is fine. We want to protect our floors. So if we are doing this in the gym, or if we're doing this in the hallway or in our classrooms, we want to make sure we're protecting our floors and the tables. I want to make sure that I'm using gloves. That's a good reminder, wearing gloves. And they're this color for a reason. I want to make sure I always check the blade condition before I use it. If it has any nicks or cracks in it, I break it off. Or if I find that it's not cutting as I'm using it, I can then take it again, I'll remind you, to that spot and use pliers and cut or break the blade off. I'll demonstrate this one last time. And make sure I dispose of the blade safely. You give the blade to the teacher. And he or she will put it in a cup, and then they'll dispose of it so that no one gets hurt when it gets put into a garbage. Avoid using the utility knife for unsuitable tasks. So unsuitable tasks are making the blade go way up or cutting like this, cutting downwards. That is not a safe way to use this utility knife. You never cut towards your body. You always cut away from your body and other people's bodies. You see how nice that cut is? You can use this utility knife a lot for this project. Okay, that's all for the utility knife. Thanks.